The 2025 Sunbet ZX-10 Masters Cup is proudly brought to you by Sunbet, Bridgestone, the tyre of choice, VAG Automotive Centurion, and EBC Brakes.
So we're back to Zwartkops International World of Motoring for round 8 of the Sunbet ZX-10 Masters Cup. And a big crowd has come out here for the final national championship event of the season. 2025 has been pretty spectacular. But remember, the ZX-10 Masters Cup is only here for their penultimate round. They've got a final round happening at Zwartkops Raceway at the end of November. So still a couple of points up for grabs here today, as well as at Zwartkops Raceway in a couple of weeks' time. There are a couple of guys here that, of course, that are going to be pushing hard to try and get those points. And a couple that have come from a long, long distance as well. A couple of guys coming from Cape Town. And the usual contenders are back in the mix again, running those Bridgestone tyres to their limits and way past them. So a couple that needed a few changes here and there. Great to see the guys getting the support that they need. And have a look at this. That's an pretty impressive tyre change there. MotoGP teams, have a look at that man. He could possibly be the person you want on the side of the track when things get a little bit hectic out on the circuit. Jason Lamb is going to try and wrap up Class C. Graham Van Breda hopefully be looking to wrap up Class B. As we know, Kinsella has already wrapped up the overall championship and Class A as well. So it's all done and dusted. It's battles for second, third and fourth. That's basically what we'll be looking for throughout the day. But as always, a family affair and lots of camaraderie amongst the riders as they get ready to go to battle for the first time today and the first time for the weekend here at the Extreme Festival of Motorsport, proudly brought to you by Coca-Cola Beverages South Africa. Great to see the fans getting a little up close and personal, and let's get up close and personal now with the returning rider.
The number 79 bar. Great to have you back, Nico Zietsman. Nico, it's been a while since that little engine mishap, should we call it, at Kyle Army, the first of the double headers earlier on this year. Tell us, it's good to be back, obviously. Got a huge smile on your face. You're looking good out there. So just tell us a little bit about that and then your prospects, obviously, for the race.
Yeah, so I got the bike back on Friday morning from Alfie. Huge thanks to him to get the bike back together for me. It's even better than before. The engine is super strong, doing good times. I broke my PB first session out. Second session broke it again. So we're looking forward to race 1 and see if I can do the PB again. And then race 2, see how it goes there.
Great. Well, look, great to have you back. Hopefully you mix it up with the boys. It's quite hot out there today. So the heat is quite literally on.
It is. Thank you. I'm looking forward to it.
There we go. Best of luck.
Thanks, George. Cheers.
I wonder if Nico Zietsman will be thinking about putting 93 on his bike next year, so it'll match his hat. That might be a good idea. Great to see them there, and a big welcome return to the LNC Projects Kawasaki man. As you heard, a bit of work being done there to get it all sorted out. Nice to see Henk Kruger back on the grid as well. We saw him at the previous round, but he's now back permanently. And a couple of riders now looking forward to going to battle, and some final high fives and support given to the riders before they get out onto the circuit for race number 1. It's going to be a pretty interesting affair, and I think it's going to be pretty tight in terms of possibly for the 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8th place on the grid. First place basically will be Kinsella. He's dominated already in the first couple of practice sessions, and of course all the practice sessions that we have here are qualifying, so each of the sessions the bikes go out count as a qualifying affair, and Sella putting it on pole position relatively easily. Purificati looked pretty good in second, but as I said, the battle for third was pretty close. Hein McMahon, Graham Van Breda, Jason Lamb and Keith Agliotti exceptionally close as they make their way out now for race number 1. Heading past Noddy, heading past our pit lane marshal, and once again a massive thanks to the Zwartkops Orange Army for keeping us safe out there and doing an incredible job at all the circuits we go racing at here in Gauteng. It's race 1 for round 8 of the Sunbet ZX-10 Masters Cup, and as they make their way around on the warm-up lap, it's Sella Purificati and Hein McMahon on the front row. Graham Van Breda, Jason Lamb and Keith Agliotti on the second row, so you've got classes A, B and C's top guns on those first 2 rows. Henk Kruger, Byron Rothkool and Johan Leroux make up the third soh, ahead of Reggie Seals, Fisa Temba and Renatus van Niekerk. And then it's Jacques Cruz, Tyre and Piper and Nico Zietsman. And the final row is made up of Steve Golgocci and Ian Harwood. So we stand by now for the start procedure for race number 1. It's going to be a pretty tight and twisty affair here, I think, between these riders, because we're going to be watching out for Kinsella dominating at the front end, as he has at almost every single occasion this season. But as I said, the battle behind him is definitely going to be raging. And I'm looking forward to seeing the battle between Hein McMahon and Damien Purificardi. McMahon finding some seriously good pace in the early stages, but as we get down towards turn 2, Cashel Corner for the first time, you can see they come through there, almost line astern. The battle is on for second place. We're going on board here from Sapiso Temba's 360-degree camera, and as he heads down towards turn 1, we face him, but we watch for the riders coming left and right of him, heading in towards turn number 1 for the first time. And that onboard camera really shows you just how they peel in there for the very first time. Remember, it's on the left-hand side of the tyre for the very first time, so the tyre is still cold. They don't get a lot of time to get heat into the rubber on the left-hand side because there's only 3 of them at this track. There's 5 right-handers, so it gets a lot quicker and a lot hotter quickly on the right-hand side compared to on the left-hand side. So you've got to be very ginger initially on the left-hand turns. And once those tyres are up to temperature, of course, they just give absolutely awesome grip around this track. And you can see them all starting to fan out now and get themselves sorted out. Battle seems to be for second place. It's Jason Lamb who's up in the second place at this point in time. Looks like he's just hung in there. No, it's not. It's Van Breda. It's Van Breda who snuck through there. It looked like the white bike of Lamb, but Lamb's a bit further back than that. He's in 5th place at the moment. Not quite the start he wanted, that is for sure. King Price Insurance Kawasaki out front of Kinsella. And there's McMahon already putting pressure onto the former champion and a multiple champion in this class, Graham Van Breda. So McMahon has found a special start here. I kind of expected to see it from Slucky. He has been taking a couple of additional times on the circuit when he could get them. And when they were still running Brunch Run and Thunderbikes here, we'd see him on numerous occasions coming for that little bit of additional practice, and it's certainly working well here for him. Jason Lamb is getting quicker. Remember, we're only into the early stages of this first race, but Lamb already starting to put the pressure on at the front end and diving on the inside there. Purificardi squeezing through. The Purificardi moves up into 3rd place, now starts to hunt down the man in second, Hein McMahon. So it's McMahon versus Purificardi. That's exactly what I expected to see heading into turn 4. Behind that, Jason Lamb closing in on Graham Van Breda. Nice battle. Starting to rage a bit further back on that one as we see them coming through there. The 76 bike of Zwartkops. Tyre Piper was in there with him as well. And I think that was Nico Zitzman not too far behind. So not a bad start there from the returning Nico Zitzman. Let's keep an eye on his progress, if he can keep it all together and keep it upright for this first one. That's exactly what he'd probably be looking to do. This man is just looking to get away and just have a swan song finish to his championship back-to-back titles. Up in a second, looks like there's a change-up. Yes, there is. Purificardi's moved up into 2nd place. Lamb has closed the gap onto the back end of Graham Van Breda, looking for a way past him. And you can see Hein McMahon just doesn't seem to have an answer there to Damien Purificardi. Lap times are 1:03 dead. Wow, that's incredible from Kinsella. Not as quick as what we saw of him in qualifying. He got down to the 1:02s, but a 1:03 dead in race pace is pretty decent time on that King Price and PS branded Kawasaki. It's a nice run there from him. Purificardi's also got down very close to him in the 1:03.8, so only 0.7 of a second in lap times between the top two. But as you can see, the gap is the major factor there for Purificardi, and he has to take into account that that is going to be a huge factor to take into his ability to try and catch that man. Look at that, he's already almost got the entire straight from turn 4 to turn 5 ahead of Damien Purificardi for second, and looking good there on the all gold machine from King Price. You can see that Liqui Moly stuff has been working well to get the polish on that bike. Perfectly done. He comes down towards the bottom end of the circuit again through turn 8, and it's Sella on his way. Pretty much plain sailing here for him. He doesn't really have any competition here. And at Zwartkops, he decided not to go from the back of the pack. It's a little bit too difficult to get through because there's not a lot of opportunities to overtake you. You've got to be very good and very wily to try and find an opportunity to pass at Zwartkops. Here's Temba. Sapiso Temba coming down towards turn 8. This is a great rear view shot of Zwartkops closing in on him and around his outside. Oh, Temba's got a problem actually. Sapiso Temba sits up and looks like there's a bit of an issue there on the IM63 bike. What a pity there for him. The National Motorsport Mzansi and Wakahina racing bike has just given up the ghost there. I'm not quite sure what's gone wrong there, but he literally set up coming out of turn 8 and something mechanical went wrong on that motorcycle. And fortunately, Zwartkops saw it and just avoided it crashing into the back end of him. Speaking of the back end, well, all of a sudden we've got some maneuvering happening from Keith Agliotti, who's finding some seriously great pace here in the mid part of race number 1. Closing in on Jason Lamb on that Ridgeway racing machine. And the BioClean Kawasaki of Agliotti is now into the mix and possibly fighting for an overall podium. There are 4 bikes there fighting for third, led out at this point in time, as you can see, by the hard-charging Hein McMahon, who I think is now going to have to just settle for third and try and fend off the attack from everybody else. Speaking of fending off the attacks, well, that's exactly what Jar Cruz is doing. He's got Golgocci just behind him, and Tyre and Piper's in that mix as well. As they come down onto the brakes, you can see some changes as well, as Renatus Vinicuk starts to get into the mix there too. So we're having a little bit of fun and games out there too with some of the riders that are normally a little bit higher up in the pack. Haven't quite stayed with that front pack this time out. But of course, Zwartkops is a slightly different animal when it comes to motorcycle racing, and some of the guys absolutely love it. Some of the guys find it a bit more difficult to get to grips with. But they certainly are putting on a superb show for this big crowd that's come out for the final national of the Extreme Festival of Motorsport. That man there still in with a chance of Class C honours, although if Jason Lamb wraps up 2 victories today, he will take the Class C championship. And JLR, unfortunately, is going to have to settle for second place. Brian Bontekoning didn't make it out for this final penultimate round, but hopefully we'll get to see him at Red Star Raceway for the final round at the end of the month. Chopping and changing here at the back as well, picking up on the little battles that are starting to come into the mix there. One of them is Reggie Seal and Byron Rothko. Nice little fight between them. And you can see just flicking it over onto the right-hand side is Renatus Vinicuk on that Sunbet and VAG Automotive Centers Kawasaki. And of course, he's only just down the road from his workshop at VAG Automotive Centurion. It's great to have them as part of our associate sponsors, and EBC Brakes as well. They've been put to the test a bit because there are a couple of corners that are hard braking corners. Yeah, this one not so much. It's kind of just an ease off on the throttle and then back onto the throttle as you go up the hill. The fastest part of the circuit is where Jason Lamb is about to head to. That's at the top of the hill just before the brake marks on the left-hand side past Universal Motorsport and the AMG Driving Academy. As you climb on the brakes up there, it's about 270 odd k's an hour that you'll get up to, and at the top end of the ZX-10 Masters Cup field. It looks like Graham Van Breda is starting to close in on Hein McMahon, so he's not going to give up that final overall podium without a fight, and he's going to give him a bit of a run for his money here by the looks of it. So Graham Van Breda starting to close that gap down on the back end of Hein McMahon. And it's lucky we'll have to keep his eyes on those rearview mirrors if he had them, because VVD is coming. Jason Lamb hasn't quite been able to stay with the two of them. He's got a little bit of a bridge to gap there, and I think it might be too big of an ask for him to get that bridge by the time the checkered flag comes out. But there's certainly some intention being shown here from this man, the Stefanuti Stocks Kawasaki of Graham Van Breda, looking pretty tasty. Good run once again from Keith Agliotti, and if Agliotti stays where he is right now, that'll be 4th place in Class A for him. And that's Henk Kruger. He's basically all on his own sim. He's got a little bit of a gap over JLR. Then it's Reggie Seal. Behind that, Byron Rothko. And parked on the sideline, that's Renatus Vinicuk with a mechanical issue on the sideline. Oh no, that is a big pity to lose him. So we've lost 2 riders in this first heat. Renatus Vinicuk, the second of the 2 on the VAG Automotive Centers Kawasaki. And unfortunately, that is his race 1 done for the day. So he'll have to try and get that motorcycle sorted out, and hopefully in time to get back out for race 2 later on this afternoon. Great slow-mo shots here coming through the right-hander, and getting up close and personal there with Hein McMahon as he came through into Cashel Corner at turn 2. This is the outside shot, slightly different camera work being done, of course, by the Two Wheels team this weekend, helping us out with the footage. And you can see just how well it worked. We had a jib in the inside of the track and a camera on the outside, giving you 2 angles out of turn 2 at the hairpin, which is really nice for us to use, of course, here for the coverage. And there you can see just how well it works from the outside on the Avidan bike as well. JLR, just take my hat off to that man every single time he climbs on a motorcycle, because he certainly has got a great turn of pace and is a man to watch out for when it comes to ZX-10 Masters Cup racing. So as we watch them coming out of turn 5 now, keeping an eye out on JLR and his attempt to catch Henk Kruger. Kruger just up the road there. The Genesis Machine Tool Services Kawasaki. He's currently sitting, that'll be 2nd in Class B for him. That's a good run. 2nd in Class C for JLR behind Jason Lamb. So it's the battle between the 2 second place bikes. Just behind them is Reggie Seal. He's, of course, in 3rd place for Class B. So he'd love to catch Henk Kruger and possibly make a pass on him if he can into the closing stages and try and get himself a little higher up on the Class B podium. Won't be on the overall podium. That overall podium is pretty much settled down. I don't think anybody's going to have an answer to the top 3 there. Although this man might. In the closing stages, he might become a bit of traffic. That's all I can say. But Ian Harwood, hats off to him again from TRP Distributors, our suppliers of the Bridgestone tyres that we race on, and also help out with a whole bunch of the suppliers to the riders as well for kit. You can get Berwick leathers, of course, the Bellray lubricants, aero helmets, and gurney boots all come in from TRP. So if the guys joining us in ZX-10 Masters Cup need that kit, he's the man to chat to. Slow-mo shot there of Nico Zietsman. He looks pretty comfortable on his return. Nice to see that. Graham Van Bedar is not feeling comfortable. He's getting a little bit more irritated. He wants a little bit more oomph out of that Stefanelli Stockson Motor Kawasaki to find a way through on Han McMahon, but he doesn't seem to have an answer. So it remains Class A 1, 2 and 3 overall. Sella out front, Purificati in second and McMahon in third. This battle continues as well. A little bit of pressure now coming from Reggie Seal onto JLR. So Reg's trying to find a way through, maybe into the latter part of this race to try and hang on and move himself up ahead of the second place Class C rider. But the flag is waiting, and Henny's got it in his hands as always. And the first man to take it will be the King Price Kawasaki of Kinsella, taking Class A ahead of Damien Purificati. Han McMahon hangs on for third place. It's a top 4 finish there for Graham Van Bedar, but he will wrap up, of course, Class B, taking the win there. And certainly putting one hand on the trophy, I think, by now. And a great run from Jason Lamb will sort out Class C honours for him in the victory as well as the championship. So well done there as well to the TRP bike at the back of the pack. Just hanging on and just not getting lapped there to Ian Harwood. So certainly one of the best runs we've seen out of him for a long time here at Zwartkops. But there is the man who would be king, and he is king on that King Price Kawasaki. And well done once again to Kinsella, Evil Knievel as we like to call him, taking another victory and showing us what ZX-10 Masters Cup racing has become with him at the front. Sella takes the victory, as you can see, from Purificati and McMahon. That's your top 3 in Class A. Graham Van Bedar takes 4th place ahead of Henk Kruger in 7th, and Reggie Seal in 9th to take the top 3 in Class B. Then it is Jason Lamb in 5th place, winning out over Johan Leroux, and a long way down to Jacques Cruz for 3rd place in Class C. He was down in 13th place. Lucky for some. Let's try and catch up now with a couple of the riders down in the pit lane.
How was that, Jason?
Too good.
Too good.
Too good.
Looked like a great battle out there. It was literally hot on and off the track. You just missed out on the overall podium there, but a great race.
Yeah, I could only keep the gap. I just couldn't close the guys in front of me. So we'll take the points for this one and we'll move on to race 2.
There we go. And also, winner in Class C, of course.
Of course.
There we go. Best of luck for the second one.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
There we go. Kinsella, another dominant performance, another dominant victory here at Zwartkops for round 8, the penultimate round on your King Price Extreme ZX-10. How do you feel?
Yeah, I felt, honestly, I know it sounds, I wasn't comfortable. I didn't feel good there. I think we made a change on the front tire pressure that was just felt difficult to me, and my lap timer wasn't working, so I kind of couldn't see what I was doing. I was pretty uncomfortable. So yeah, frustrated, I think is the word, but that's only just because I know how good this team is. I know how good the bike is. I know how good the package around me is. So
how good you are. Perform. And how good you are, of course.
So I need to perform, and I think I was performing at my level I need to there.
There we go. Well, you've got one more chance today. So hopefully your lap timer works.
Yeah.
And hopefully you improve those lap times and take home a double victory yet again.
The win's the most important for sure, but I think the change we want to make will drive us forward.
There we go. How were the Bridgestone tyres feeling out there in the EBC pads?
Yeah.
It's obviously cooking, so how did they perform?
I think today's a test for all of those particular components. The tyres are taking strain under this heat, but still solid, good lap times, braking nice and solid. So thanks to all the sponsors that are involved with our series.
There we go. Best of luck for the second one.
Thank you.
Stephen Golgotzi, 11th place there in race 1 of round 8 of the 2025 Sunbet ZX-10 Masters Cup. A great start there. You sort of forced your way through on all the riders. There's Nico's pulling out a park firme there. But a great performance, great lap times, great improvements. How was it for you?
Yeah, surely. Thank you very much. Yeah, it was actually compared to qualifying to get an 11th. I'm over the moon. I'm very happy. We gave Ricky a call last night and we sort of did a bit of change up overnight, which the bike feels absolutely fantastic as always. What do you expect from ETR performance? You only get the best and the results show. But yeah, the start was good. I knew I had to get a good start and squeeze the guys tight in turn one. I think you saw that. But if I didn't, I was going to be chasing all race. So yeah, but we had a great race, Shawnee. We brought it to the checker flag all in one piece and we look forward to race 2.
There we go. Well, a huge thank you to our sponsors once again for keeping the series going.
Yes.
Sunbet, of course, Bridgestone, the tyre of choice, VEG, Automotive, Centurion, and EBC Brakes.
Awesome.
There we go. Best of luck for the second one.
Yes, great. Thanks, sponsors. Thank you very much. We really appreciate you. Without you, we couldn't do this. Thank you.
The 2025 Sunbet ZX-10 Masters Cup is proudly brought to you by Sunbet, Bridgestone, the tyre of choice, VEG, Automotive Centre Centurion, and EBC Brakes.